I love when people treat fictional characters like real characters. It is very interesting. Let's just say that. I would consider that mental illness, but what do I know? The trash taste situation is pathetic. Ref, we're gonna look into this. I'm assuming it's probably that they're right, because remember, trash taste is kind of cooked now, right? Because they can't offend their audience because they build an army of how do you say this? A little bit of tourists, right? They were a lot more risky back then. Now they're not so much. But yeah, we're gonna look at this. Also, please consider liking and subscribing. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'd like to reach 5K this year. That'd be pretty cool. Anyways, we'll go in. Is this the Stella Blade drama? No, this is something else. I don't think, has Ref even done anything on Stella Blade? Not, we could look at that instead. Anyways, we're going in.
Hey, what's up guys, Ref here. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the backlash that the Trash Taste podcast and the Ludwig crew is currently facing for some clips that are going viral where they're bashing anime fans, and a lot of people are pointing out not only the ridiculous nature of what they're saying, but also the hypocrisy that's also contained within these interactions. Once again, the evergreen tweet just shows that these people are completely devoid of any rationality when it comes to talking about fictional content. They love to harass people over fictional content while also consuming that same problematic fictional content themselves to monetize it, of course. Now, this is the clip that is...
Yeah, it's interesting, right? You see that, for example, with the ZZZ players, right? They say they don't want to, right? They don't want to, right? They see the characters and are like, oh yeah, that's predatory, and I look at that and like, they're still playing it though. They're still playing it, right? They're still playing it. They're still consuming it. It is so interesting, right? It is very interesting, right? The people that say that something is problematic are still consuming that media. But yeah, I'm criticizing it, so it's not that bad. So you still spread it.
Once again going viral. This is a follow-up to a clip I talked about the other day where you can see Ludwig and his friend Slime here on the Trash Taste podcast saying all kinds of very disparaging things about anime and Japan generally. Now, Trash Taste is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, anime-related podcast on YouTube. Now, they have one very big criticism a lot of people give them, and that is inviting guests who just outright hate anime and or are insufferable people. The most clear example of that is their collaboration with Hassan Piker about a year ago.
Damn, that's a like-dislike ratio that I like to see. 81K is kind of diabolical compared to 29K. How do you even get to the conclusion that you definitely had to invite Hassan Piker? Well, then again, right, it makes sense.
So not only do you have this dog-zapping terrorist sympathizer on your podcast, but also this is a guy who regularly calls people predators over anime. And ironically enough, in this podcast episode, Hassan was gloating about how much he enjoyed a boy love anime featuring high school boys, but that episode got trashed. You can see the like to dislike ratio was abysmal, and the comments, you'd be hard pressed to find any that are positive. In fact,
the U.S. is too conservative. I'm moving to Japan to get away from it. Very interesting. Very interesting. There will be 5 comments like, I can't believe they had him back on Michek's comment section. Oh, how wrong you were. It will be less controversial this time. There will be like 5 comments that aged well. The dog is shocked to see this episode. My dog is shocked to see this episode. Cinema.
To be like finding a needle in a haystack. People were not happy about this. And of course, there was some other drama about a year ago. It's not just the guests, it's also CDawg VA and his comments about anime the last couple of years, where he has routinely called anime fans predators, including his own co-hosts, over things like figures of the character Sagiri. And the backlash from that, when this clip went viral, was swift and severe, because at the time, CDawg VA was one of the people who was supposed to be doing a sponsored stream with Blue Archive, which...
I do not play Blue Archive, but this, ladies and gentlemen, is how you gatekeep. This is how you gatekeep. This, ladies and gentlemen, is how you gatekeep. This is what communities need to do to get rid of people that they don't want. Because I'll be real, I'd rather have the hobby that I love die because nobody new joins in than see it changed by weirdos. By outside weirdos, right? More so. Anyways, this is how you gatekeep.
Features a lot of the icky, problematic stuff he likes to call predatory. And, well, after fan backlash from the Blue Archive community, they were gatekept. This event was canceled, and Blue Archive apologized for even conceiving the events. Now, the podcast episode people are dredging up right now features a collaboration between Trash Taste and Ludwig's podcast. The normie LA streamer scene that surrounds Ludwig is one that also heavily hates anime and likes to demonize those who are consuming it. In fact, the other day we looked at this clip that went viral where his podcast friends would go on and say that they would beat people up over consuming problematic anime, including Madoka, of all things.
You are a fucking chomo.
No, Zipper, can you pull Madoka Magica?
What if
What are you getting him to do that for?
What
just-
if the
I'm
child
just asking
is
a question.
1,000 years old?
That's what I'm saying.
never
That's what we
account for
always
it.
do, and we always make
God.
excuses for these fucking
What
people.
a tired. Okay, so just tell me.
Right. So what are we
Go to
doing?
images. I'm just asking if Puella Magi Madoka Magica would count for this category you're talking
If
about.
I meet somebody, if I start a new job and my coworker says this is his favorite anime, I'm like,
my
yeah, I'm gonna
God.
beat the shit out of you after work.
Yeah,
by
we're
the
gonna
way.
kill you, man.
Wouldn't do that.
I'm gonna beat the
We're
shit out of the by the dumpster.
We're gonna turn the water up slowly until you don't know.
Have we reached this kind of a low? I tell you guys, I tell you, what is being said is right. Isn't Iron Mouse a lolly? Does she qualify as one? I'm unsure. But arguably, the same people that right act like this usually say that VTubers put on act for PDFs. So there's that. Is the anime a horror anime? I am unsure. I'm pretty sure it's not. It's a magical girl anime. I could be wrong though. I think it is. I think it's a magical girl anime. It's maybe a little gruesome as far as I'm aware. Anyways, I tell you that a lot of people that say they like anime were originally people that bullied others for watching anime. I tell you that. The people that watch anime right now came into it when it got popular and were originally the people that would beat and bully you and make fun of you and call you creepy and tell you that you watch animated corn. Those are the people that are now essentially running your anime content. I swear to God. That's exactly what it is. It's crazy. They'll resort to physical violence over fiction. Yeah. 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 I tell you that. It is the truth. It is the truth.
It's
I
boiling.
might I'd talk to them less.
It's a good show.
Okay.
yeah, but
Ludwig.
Okay.
Why is that? When is that
Okay.
ever a good enough reason?
Yeah, this 30-something-year-old midlife crisis dripping man is going to beat you up if you dare to consume anime like Madoka. I bet that went over very good in the Smash community that he is a part of, but the backlash to this was pretty swift and severe, and he would have
Wait, he's part of the Smash community? Well, then I think he should start, he should not start throwing boulders in the glass house then, because, there have been some incidences. Maybe you should look in your own community first.
have a mini crash out on Twitter through a series of deleted tweets where he was angry at people for saying problematic and mean words in the replies to the clip we just watched. Yeah, he has a problem with people saying mean words on the internet, but feels totally comfortable threatening to inflict violence on people for watching anime. But this is the most recent clip that is once
The term I would use for this man is crybully. That's what it is. Right? They are aggressive, they attack you, right? And when you fight back, they resort to like this like active like I didn't do anything. Right? Why are you mean to me? You're all bullies. Fuck off. Get out of here, tourist. Get out of here. Nobody wants you here. Except other tourists, that is.
Once again, gotten a lot of attention. It is from that previous collaboration between Ludwig's podcast and Trash Taste, and it's filled with more hypocrisy and just downright insane comments, many of which are very demeaning to Japan. And a lot of people are watching Giguk and saying he's kind of spineless for allowing people like this to be on his podcast, and people are once again looking at CDawg VA and looking at him as a giant hypocrite on all the related subjects. But let's just jump right into this clip.
Are you guys liking Japan so far?
I am.
Yeah.
But I have beef with you.
Reserved.
Why beef with me specifically?
I got beef with you.
Why?
I got a problem with you.
I also have beef with you because I'm with him, so I unfortunately have beef with you.
What
It's
did
nice
I-
to see you again.
It is nice to see
I
you
have
again.
so much beef with you, though. So
Is
shut
it
up.
because I'm too helpful and I've been helping you?
You've been actually a massive help. You've guided me around to amazing spots. You've hooked me up in ways that I could only bow like Slime does at a 7-Eleven when he gets a coffee in the
I
morning.
hate this meme.
It's not a meme. But you, when we went to Akihabara yesterday, said you have to go to a specific spot called the Culture Zone.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I call my downstairs. Go ahead.
What the fuck was that about? Because we walk into that place and we're walking around and it's a lot of figures, and then we see this aisle with curtains and we're like, dude, that's gonna be so sick. They have a cool secret section. And we walk in and Connor, I shit you not, I saw a sea of children Tom Brady would love to kiss naked.
So it turns out when you go to a very weird, nerd-centric center of Akihabara, you're going to find some weird stuff. I can't believe it, but that's what happened here. And in my previous video, I talked about how Ludwig had the only halfway sane approach towards the subject, but yeah, that's gone away because further on in this clip, he's going to call anime figures CP while his friends take pictures of what they believe is CP. But you can see this is all about anime. Let it be very clear, they're talking about anime, and
I think No Familia. It has fan service in it though. I'm gonna say something. I need to say something. It is interesting how the people that say that this is CP are the same people that would post it online and therefore in their own mind spread it. It is incredibly hilarious. It is really damn funny. It is so funny. It is hilarious. It's like, you can't... The jokes write themselves. The hypocrisy writes itself. But I don't like these people.
And this is going to lead to a very dysfunctional conversation where the comments being made by Ludwig, Slime, and CDawg would basically paint Giguk, and who's not featured on the podcast, the anime man, Joey, as predators. In fact, this whole thing is about anime figures, and they're surrounded by some of these figures right now on the podcast that would fit the description they're giving.
Just naked.
What?
What is that?
Well, okay, so there are scarcely places in Akihabara that have, I want to say, everything that encapsulates the area.
Yeah.
And that building has a little bit of everything for everyone. Some of the
They even
little
covered
bit for everyone.
EDP 445.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's the thing.
That's probably the worst example ever. So catering to EDP 445, who I'm sure most of you are already aware of,
Wasn't... EDP was called trying to meet up with a real human being. With a real child. I know this may seem like a rhetorical question, but are these people stupid? That is not the same. That is not... No real human being is harmed by fictional content. What? They're comparing somebody who would try to do something incredibly evil to anime figures standing around. We are... Yeah, it's like interesting we are devaluing the word, a P word that I can't really say because YouTube hates me. It is so interesting. It is so, this word will soon mean nothing. And these people are at fault for it.
This guy famously said that if you look at Lolicon, for example, you are a predator, which of course is a massive round of projection for a guy who has been busted multiple times for trying to meet up with what he thinks are children. And I can't go much further because the last time I did, I got bonked by YouTube for,
Cupcakes. He wants to look for cupcakes. You know what that means.
cyberbullying EDP445. But here's the thing, he's probably the worst example to provide in this situation. And you can say, oh, well, that podcast was from 2 or 3 years ago. They didn't know. It was always obvious with this guy. That was his behavior forever. So it just shows how tone deaf they are in providing the worst example ever.
Fun fact, if you didn't know, this man is back. Yeah, you heard that right. This dude's back. If you didn't know that, yes, this dude is back. He's back. He's making videos on YouTube.
The other everyone. More often than not, we are too.
Okay. Right, yeah.
Everyone.
No, I obviously don't partake in those sections, but
Why are you
I
saying it
thought-
like you do
I
secretly?
thought that maybe, as a tourist, you might want to see the kind of weird stuff that goes on.
Kind of accurate as a tourist. It's more accurate than you would think.
I ran into like what I can only imagine is a Japanese high schooler there, and we locked eyes.
Wait, you shouldn't have been in that
And
section.
I was like, bro, you gotta stop coming here.
You're trying to shake it like, please, just go live a normal life.
Yeah,
I gotta ask, how long did you spend in there?
So at this point, you can see Dog VA making it very clear, like, "Hey guys, I'm not weird. Don't judge me. I don't partake in that stuff," which is an absolute lie. I mean, the guy has routinely done podcast episodes, videos, what have you, where they're consuming content like Metamorphosis, for example, where it centers around
You don't need to explain this. Even I know it, and I found it out by accident.
a high school student who falls into addiction and prostitution, and it's obviously super, super dark. This is the kind of stuff that Slime would beat you up for, definitely. But it's like they want to have their cake and eat it too, right? They want to lecture about how icky and problematic this stuff is while monetizing it. And they've been doing this for years, up until this day. It's like we hear routinely CDawg VA demonizing all this stuff involving anime, but on the same hand, routinely consuming it and posting his reactions onto YouTube. And we're not even getting into like the deep end of this where like he's close, very close with Iron Mouse, who's constantly accused of being a predator or enabling predators with her VTuber model. He's always overlooked this. I mean, it's basically like friendly fire at this point. Like he's engaging in the same behavior these tourists are engaging in when they harass Iron Mouse. It's very ironic when you think about it. So I'm going to skip ahead a little bit here and get to the next part where Ludwig is going into details about his experience he and his friends had while in the store, and the pictures his friend was taking of what he believed and Ludwig believes is CP. Spoiler alert, it's about anime figures.
And so somebody from our group, in the absurdity of it, they're like, oh, because it's the craziest one. They take a picture of it, and I'm like, that's a bad idea. You are just taking pictures of child porn.
I saw, yeah. I would get it off your phone.
You gotta get that off your phone.
Oh, it is drawn.
Oh, yeah. Of course. Yeah. It is.
So the totally normal, not weird people in Ludwig's crew see what they believe is CP, and they immediately take out their phone and start taking pictures of it, which would be a federal crime if what they were saying wasn't about anime figures. And you see someone on the crew there having to...
Yeah, taking a picture of something that... See, it's a little odd to take a picture of something you consider to be criminal. Does that not make you a criminal? Does that not make you an owner of that? What? Never mind. These people aren't stupid. They're retarded. My opinion, I think metamorphosis counts as age. Don't think metamorphosis counts as age manga because that was a set rate read, man. I don't know, man. I saw something different.
Specify for the audience that they're talking about anime figures. That is the absolute state of normies and the takeover of anime by people like this who want to basically use whatever buzzword they want when describing something that makes them feel weird, right? Just because it's weird, I guess they can say whatever they want and water down whatever terms they want, which ironically enough is something that EDP 445 would do all the time. Just saying.
It is
It's an anime store.
Yes. Yeah.
It has everything an anime fan might want.
So
They had a curtain in that curtain section that I didn't dare go in.
So to translate for everyone who's not knowledgeable about Japanese and anime culture, they went to the doujinshi section, which
Yeah.
is the part where you get a lot of fan-drawn like books and art.
Yeah, dude, I
of-
thought doujinshi was chill because I used to like jerk off to Naruto doujinshi because it would be that one lady.
Wait,
What's
don't
up?
say that.
What's up?
That's it. You just
Okay,
said,
well,
right? Like, that's bad
No,
to
that's
say.
chill. That's chill.
Yeah. Slime comes in to clarify you shouldn't talk about the sort of etchy stuff you're consuming. Meanwhile, this is the guy who has no issue saying he's going to inflict violence on people for watching Madoka.
Right? Naruto doujinshi chill.
I wouldn't personally, but
He hasn't even seen Naruto, so he has no horse in this
You
race.
got no skin in the game, bro.
well, okay, so I think maybe doujins back then were more chill, but I think definitely over the past 5-10 years they've gotten progressively more intense.
It doesn't have to be like
So I guess by his logic, anything, especially erotic material out of Japan, any
Why would Ludwig even say that in public? Because he is a weirdo. He doesn't want to appear like a weirdo. He wants to appear like one of the good guys, but he's just the same as everyone else. But so they can continue farm it. But he's like kind of stupid and he doesn't get that. Okay. I need to understand this for a second. These retards are more outraged about fictional content. But actual corn is fine. See, I feel like we've got it kind of twisted, right? If anything, you should be outraged most about actual corn, right? With real humans involved, than fictional content. Maybe just me? No, I mean him whacking. Yeah, that as well. It's like, yeah, that's what. See, some things you could keep private, but I guess he doesn't. Like, we kind of have it twisted, don't we? Because how is fictional content more extreme than real people doing something? It doesn't add up in general. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up in general. Right? It doesn't make sense. There's no logic behind this. I can guarantee if you ask this man about like the extreme stuff that's on like somewhat extreme stuff on the hub or on OF, he would not say a word. But here it's like, oh yeah, it's gotten so extreme. I'm like, yeah, but still no real humans involved. Like, stop crying. You're a bitch. Stop.
thing before 5 years ago, I guess, is fine. Right? They only started going into extreme stuff.
So I look at the date, right, when this was released. I don't know. Let's say it was this year. So I can consume everything that's from before, like around starting around 2020 and back. Everything's fine, basically.
The last couple of years. It was just the last couple of years. Everything before that, you have a grace period according to these people, which probably adds up a lot when you think about it, given the content they're making. But look at Giguk. A lot of people are calling him spineless for this, and we've seen previous.
He is spineless, and arguably the anime man is as well. This man didn't even understand the conversation around tourists. He didn't in the slightest. He confused tourists with new people coming into like watching anime when that was not the case at all. Nobody was referring to newbies. He didn't get that. He didn't get that at all. If they're concerned about CPE, they should go to countries where child marriage is legal, but I know they won't because they risk missing a head. It's so interesting, right? They consider like this, right? Stuff that's in Japan, right? Fictional, by the way. Have I said that before? So problematic, but you don't see them say a single word about, for example, did you know there's a literal grape festival in Nigeria for 7 days? And I mean literally 7 days. 7 days a woman cannot go out because whatever happens throughout there is free game. It's a tradition. That kind of thing, not a problem. Not worthy calling out at all, ever. Nobody does that. Fictional characters. That's a problem. That's gonna destroy society. Yeah, definitely.
Clips of Sea Dog basically implying that people like him would be predators over the content they make. I mean, this guy made a career talking about all sorts of problematic anime and tropes and anything that's related to it. This is a guy who makes videos on Arrow Manga Sensei. I mean, this is...
And calling it a modern masterpiece, but here is like, that's just terrible. Oh, God.
Very ironic that he's just sitting there and allowing this to happen. Like, these people are basically implying you're all a bunch of freaks and potentially criminals as well. But also Sea Dog VA sitting there going like, whoa, 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 I wouldn't do that person. Like, guys, I'm cool. I'm not weird. Like, I'm one of you. I'm like one of these LA streamers, you know? I'm not one of these weird people, these weird predators or whatever. He's just making sure everyone knows he's the ethical gooner in this situation.
The ethical gooner. The ethical gooner jerks off to men. Because women are a no-no. We must protect women. Anyways. The ethical gooner is crazy.
Like child-looking characters. It could just be adults, right?
Well, most of it's adults, but
Yeah.
there unfortunately is a lot of child stuff.
Yeah, and
yeah.
unfortunately, a lot of that is centered in Akihabara.
Right.
Don't ask me why. I mean, we all know why, but don't ask me
you
why.
kind of realize when you're in Japan long enough, you're like, so what's up with all that kids stuff?
Yeah.
You're like, wait
yeah.
a minute.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very odd, and a lot of people online like to be like, it's just a different culture, you don't get it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
It's still okay to think it.
I never have heard these people. I've never heard these people talking about the Middle East or Africa. Never. I've never heard these people talk about that, right? Real world concerns. It is so interesting. It is. It is so interesting. Fictional content goes too far, but you never see them talk about anything. It's so interesting because, of course, these people don't know about, for one, they're ignorant, so they don't know that this is even happening because, well, they live in their own little perfect world where nothing happens. And also, it's just genuinely very interesting, these people. Right? It's so interesting. Yep, it is Nigeria. There's multiple other countries where that is as well. They have a literal grape festival. They never talk about them because they'll be dead. They'll be dead, or they will. So they are either dead or they will receive massive backlash. Right? They will receive massive backlash. For being called racists. That's what it is, right? They don't want to be called racists for calling out the culture that's horrible and bad and should not exist in that way. Anyways,
It's weird.
No,
Yeah.
no, 100%. 100%.
You know?
Well, look at Slime there. He gets it, actually. If you see stuff that you think is weird or whatever, that's okay. It's just weird, right? Ignore it. Don't consume it. But fast forward to about a year later, he's saying people should be beaten up for watching Madoka, of all things. But you can see the very weird dichotomy here, where you can see Sea Dog, who's lived in Japan and has an anime podcast, talking about Japan like it's the most disgusting place he's ever encountered. But he feels so comfortable living there and consuming all this awful, terrible stuff and making a career out of it. It's just very, very hypocritical. I think everyone watching this understands the level of hypocrisy. If you think all this stuff is so bad and it's so prevalent in Japan, why are you living there and why are you profiting from all this stuff?
It is weird because the main question is who does this appeal to, and when you find out that answer, you're like, oh, well, this is weird.
Well, I mean, apparently it appeals to you guys because you review
them and you make content about it. It appeals to you. You're the people it appeals to. They'll be called Islamophobes. Yep. The racist or that. Yep. Absolutely.
this stuff for your podcast. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's never like a good. There can't be a good answer to
there is
that.
no
Yeah.
No. And like you went to, I guess, like you went to like the culture zone, which is like Connor said. It's
literally called the culture.
In the culture zone.
Yeah.
Officer, I'm just cultured, okay?
Officer, it was in the culture zone, actually.
Culture falling out of my pockets, culture all over. Oh,
But
God.
I mean, there are some stores that are literally like 7 stories
Oh,
high.
I should take them to the porn store.
Yeah, the porn store, it literally 7 stories high. You saw that, like, you know, like that one guarded section? Imagine that and extrapolate that
Yeah.
to like 7 stories. And yeah, it's just if you thought some of the things you found out in there were like messed up, there are some you haven't even seen like the sex toy
Yeah,
sections.
so you know there's I did a video where we bought each other a $500 box, right? And I
Yeah.
tried to get him as much messed up stuff that you could show on YouTube.
Yeah.
The ethical gooner strikes again.
And there's this one store where they sell all the types of different sprays. And I got you like the only ones that you could show, which is like 2 out of like 30.
Yeah.
Where it was like armpit of an office worker. But it gets progressively a lot worse.
Dude,
Yeah.
get me in the lab with the scientist who's like, all right, this is office worker sweat
yeah.
versus
That's
like
pretty
Uber
funny.
driver.
You know the meme of the template of the dude looking at the sign. He's like, yes, finally I perfected the send. But that was in the store, and that was in the section that was the tame section. And there is more often than not worse section.
What would the worst scent be?
I've okay.
They're like
I have
the
actually
same.
been there because my wife has let's say reviewed a lot of the scents.
She's the degenerate queen.
She's the degenerate queen.
I'm going to pause there. The rest is just talking about the scents and everything, but you notice they mention
Bruh, that's crazy. What? I don't want to know. I do, but I don't want to know. Crazy. I could call it Islamophobe for calling out the Middle East, which is funny because they're digging themselves deeper. Oh, what's funny? A large portion of Afghanistan is actually gay. Yeah, you've heard that right. They make boys do dances and dress them up as women. The women out here in the West are like, oh, women are so oppressed in Afghanistan. And I look like, oh, you sweet innocent summer child. If you knew what the boys had to go through, no wonder they're all fucked up over there.
Giguk's wife, and she's the degenerate queen. So when she does it, it's all cool and whatever, and that's, of course...
Yeah, but she's a woman, so that doesn't count, right? Right? She's a woman, so that doesn't count, right? Which is another interesting, right? Double standard, right? That's an very interesting double standard. It's so interesting, right? When women are absolute degenerates, no problem whatsoever. But men, you're a terrible person. I love that one as well. Oh, God.
referring to Sid here, and I mean, you just look through her content, right? All the stuff that she reviews easily falls into the categories that would get her beaten up by slime there and called a predator, among other things, by people like Sea Dog and Ludwig and all of that. Again, it's just very ironic, and the fact that they make exceptions for this stuff that they're demonizing so hard just shows how unserious they are. And the fact that they're willing to make such outrageous claims about people over anime and also threaten them just shows how ridiculous these people are and hypocritical they are. But this quote really sums it up. Why do you even watch anime, or why do they even watch anime if they think all of it has underlying risk/danger of breaking the law? Why do you live in Japan even? If you think Japan is this evil place promoting violence against children, why live there and broadcast its culture to the world?
I have the exact answer for that. Money. couldn't you arguably call them grifters by the real definition, right? They say something, but they do the exact opposite, right? They say something for money that they don't necessarily agree with, at least action-wise they don't exactly agree with, right? Isn't that technically, couldn't you use the word here? I know it leaves a bad taste for people, but like arguably it does work here.
Exactly. I mean, how would they answer that question? This whole thing isn't just like, oh, sitting here trying to hate on this podcast or whatever, but like the hypocrisy is insane. I don't care if it was from like a year ago, 3 years ago. It's a consistent theme on their podcast, not just among people like Dog speaking on the podcast, but the guests they bring on too. There's a reason why people think this podcast is nothing more than a normie anime podcast at this point, because they allow this stuff to happen. And like, yeah, who watching this podcast would feel comfortable expressing anything they're watching when you might get threatened to be called a predator, or you might get threats from the guests even. But anyway.
Yeah, the guests would beat the shit out of you.
Anyways, that's the whole situation involving Trash Taste and Ludwig's crew. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did,
yeah, that's pretty much the end of the video. So, to summarize, these people are hypocrites, all of them. And they're violent. It is very interesting, right? Beating somebody up over Madoka is crazy work. Like, that's actually, like, a threat of violence over fictional content is actually insane. Like, that's just actually, that's actual mental illness. Right? And then they care so much about, like, how problematic that fictional content is, but you never actually hear them talk about what's going on in the world, right? Where, like, real children are in danger. They never actually talk about that. Right? It is so interesting, right? They don't talk about this. But, yes, this fictional content is, so evil and so problematic. Retarded. These people are retarded. There's nothing else to add here.